Okay, thank you, Lion. Today we're going to talk about the A/B testing inside core. And before we go into how we're going to do it, I just want to talk about it a little bit. Like, why do we need A/B testing? And of course, that in Sitecore as other CMS, Sitecore provide very powerful tool that can help you to track, the user, how they interact with your website, and how they actually, so what is the conversion rate of your website, of your page, or only just a form. And Sitecore have all of them stored inside the the Sitecore database. And you can actually see it very clearly with Sitecore Experience Analytics and the Experience profile. So both of them are all show right here on my screen, if you can see it. And now I will go into how we will create the A/B testing for a component and also a page. So, so in Sitecore, we separate all content on the web page into components. And for each component, individual one, we can actually create an A/B test for it. And also, we can create A/B testing for the whole page. So I will start with just the content editor, just to navigate us to the home page. And then we can switch to the Experience Editor. So just a recap for content editor is very is a Windows friendly. It's have a very similar UI for you to actually navigate around your website and all the other content like forms, maybe media library, and also template. And so Experience Editor is more for the marketer, the content author. They can we usually use it to see the actual UI of your whole website or your page. So firstly, to create A/B testing for a component, I will have a scenario here when I have a CTA component right here. And I have a feedback from my team said that, oh, I should change this teaser summary to make it more catchy or make it more straightforward. And of course that I will actually want to like defend my original content, and I will actually want to suggest that we can create A/B testing. So we will see that what is the better conversion rate of the CTA component. So what we need to do here is we will just click on the component, and you will see we will have a button right here saying test the component. So when you click on it, it will allow you to create a new variations. So I just click on the new variation. You can actually like name it. So I would say this is the variation B. So this is the original. Of course, it's going to be the A. And so Sitecore allow you to choose. So because Sitecore is separate all the content on your page to a component, and each component will have a data source, or we call it the data source, that where it will feed the content into your component. And so this is a CTA component. When I click on it, it will show me a list of data source that I'm having in my website. So you will see I will have another one right here, which is download vector. I click on it, I click OK. So here I am having one component but two different data source, which is variation A and variation B. And so of course that besides changing the component itself, I will get into that later. Okay, just let me show you like this right now. Let me click OK. And then what we can see here, we will have A, I will need to save the change to let's say go refresh the page and the component. Okay, save. So when you click back on a component, you will have, we have the A variation. We say original, and you can actually choose B to show you the variation B. So what different here is I have a different teaser summary, and this summary I just got it from a dummy text generator. And so this is just going to be a small difference between two variations. And before I go into how we can start the testing, I will come back to the test component screen a little bit. So here, sometimes we don't want to just changing the data source for the CTA component. Sometimes we just want to know that if a page without the CTA and a page with the CTA, which one will be better? So here Sitecore allow you to hide the component itself. So that means like for variation 8, the CTA will show when variation B, this component that the CTA will be hidden on your page. And so we just went through the same component but using different content. So what if you wonder if I want if my teammate come back and tell me, oh, in that location of the page we should have maybe an accordion or maybe an email instead of a CTA. So can we do that? Yes, we can do that with Sitecore. We have this option right here. We enable the variation of component design. That means it will allow you not only changing the content, it will also allow you to change the whole component itself. You can, so here we have the CTA component as the variation 8. If we click here, it will allow us to choose all the component. Maybe it can be an MVC form, it can be employee teaser, it can be accordion. It depends on what you see the needs there, and maybe it depends on the feedback, and you can actually choose from that. So let's just click cancel, and we want to make it very simple for this demonstration. Okay, and to start the testing, as you see earlier when I click save, Sitecore will actually prompt you to create a test. So Sitecore say, there's a new components have been adding to the page. Do you want to create a test? And you can just click this button, create a test. It will open the preview page for you. So see, so of course that I have a lot of variation that I created on this page before, but this is just how Sitecore will show you what it's the different variation will be on your page. So let's say this is the original one. You can click on it, and then you can actually see the preview of it. And you can actually click on maybe this one, and you will see it's another variation on the page, which is changing this teaser. And we will also have all the variation information right on the right side of the page. And here we can actually set the expectation. We can say with this variation, I expect that it's going to increase the engagement value of your page. This is a preview. This is the expectation, and the variables. So here in the variables, you will actually see that like what components or where on the page that you're having like different variations. So if I just want to, let's say, test the CTA only, I will actually just uncheck this box. I come back. You will see that we will only see the components, the CTA component that we were modifying before. And it will also give you the number of variations you have. And here experience it created. It will give you, so based on, this is actually come from Sitecore out of the box, and based on all the history of the user interactions with your website, it will give you like an estimation. So based on your historical data, this page has 1.5 visits per day, with a traffic allocation for 100% and confidence level of 95%. The test is expected to last for like 4,000, 4,300 days, and maximum duration of the test is 90 days. And so these number, the traffic allocation and the confidence level, you can actually modify it yourself. So the traffic allocation is mean like how many percent of the user will actually experience this testing. So you can actually say maybe just 50%. That means every 100 user that come to your website, only 50% of them will experience this testing, and that which is also mean that only for every 100 user that come to your website, 25 of them will see the variation B, and the other 25 will see the variation A. And of course, that the other 30 user will actually see the normal variation, which is not considered as exposed to the test. And the confidence level. So you can actually see that we don't have 100%, we only have 99%. So this is what you mean, like like how good the results are. So you, of course, you need to, like, if you need higher confidence level, you will so Sitecore will give you the longer days for you to the longer expected days or time to run the test. So you can see if I increase this to 100%, the day will change. So this is where we can adjust the variables. And the last tab we have is the objectives. So the test objective, we will have some objectives that Sitecore already provided to you. Traveling value visit, that means like it will calculate how many visit to this page, and how many engagement value that Sitecore capture from your user that exposed to the A/B testing that you created here. And you can also allow Sitecore to select the winner based on the test objective, or you can actually so let's say I choose another one. It will allow me to set the automatically select the winner based on the test objective, unless it significantly decreases the engagement value. So this is like a backup plan. If you you may want to use it when you think like, if I change the if I create this testing and it's causing me, or it's costing you a decrease of a lot of a big amount of engagement value, then you don't want to do that test anymore. And this is where you want to check. Or the last option is you can actually manually choose the select winner. And we will come back to this option when we seeing the test result. And of course, you can actually choose the duration. You can choose between a minimum of 3 days, a maximum of 90 days. Okay, and after you finish all the modification, you choose it, and then just start a test. And Sitecore will, of course, going to reload the page. Okay, and when you're running the test, you will see that in the Sitecore experience editor, this optimization tab will have a red dot next to the text, and you know that there is a test is running on this page. And it will also give you some status like this active test is expected to end in 2400 days. And you can see the optimization view. You can, if you click on it, it will actually give you like the optimization view will give you just a refresher page and give you the variation it will give you the the component that's actually have the allowed to have. I mean, it has the A/B testing that's running on that component. And if you click on the test result, so here Sitecore will give you some information of your test. It can give you the best experience affected, the confidence level, and a score. So the longer you run the test, you will get more information and more details. So you can see here the engagement value. It will compare between the variation B, experience 1, and the original. So we will have the conversion rate. It also have all the legions right here. We can actually click through it, and depends on the goal that you set up, it will give you the conversion rate depends on the goal. So let's say the goal here is to have someone download your maybe your annual statement, right? So this will calculate the conversion rate for you. And the variables. It will also show you that this is a call to action component, and how the performance of it. And on the right side of it, you can actually choose which variation, and then you can see more details of it. So top goals converted, top clicks to pages, and then register exposed to the experience. So actually, I set up a test yesterday so that we can have some kinds of details today to look at. Let me just go to the page. Yep, it shows you there's a A/B testing running on a page. Click on it. Click on test result. So so you can see here it's actually reached 5 visitor, and this visitor, I mean, there's more than, of course, there's more than 5 visitor, but only 5 visitor that actually get exposed to the experience. And yeah, I don't think I get a lot of, yeah, it's just me. So here you can actually see all the result, the test, and if you want to select the test, the winner of the test manually, so here you can do it, pick a winner. So this is where you want to end your test, and choose the winner for the page. So let's say I pitch it, it will actually give you a valid a message saying the test is not reached statistical significance. Are you sure you want to pick a winner? Yeah, confirm. Yep. So here inside Sitecore, I also give you the view of your active test, historical test. That means that the test that you ran on the page before. And I think it's still loading and want to show me the result. Okay. Yep. So it's showing that. So the test that I set up yesterday was there's a text box right here. So I can either, so the variation is the variation B, it will hide the text, and the variation A will actually like just keep the text there. And it's showing me the experience 1 with this variation B hiding the text is get more engagement value. And so this engagement value, I'm going to talk to it a little bit because it's very important to Sitecore user. Engagement value is as a content author and as a marketer using Sitecore, I want to assign engagement value to my content item so that when user interact with my page, I know that, oh, this page or this component is performance well or not. And and if I, assign the engagement value properly, I will get, a very good result, very good reports for the team, for your organization. So Sitecore will actually, when you choose the winner, or Sitecore selected like automatically based on your objective, um, it will use the engagement value to decide that. And here is showing, because yesterday I was purposely staying on the page longer when the text box is hidden. So it's showing when there's no text box, it get more engagement value from the user. And then it will also give you some personalization suggestion if you have enough data that collected from the A/B testing. So click OK. And when you end the testing, of course, it will disappear right here. And that is the A/B testing, how to create A/B testing for components on a website. And
Go on, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So the second section of this webinar is I want to talk about the page test. So the page test is a little bit different than component A/B testing. So page test is you only want to use it when you have more than one component that's have the A/B testing on your page. So you can see right here, if I click on this optimization view, I will see that I have this hero banner this hero banner already has some kinds of A/B testing configure that I did before. And also these two, I have this teaser, and this teaser, it has variations that I created for them. So this one as well. So when let me just end the, I will end this, and then we can actually start a page test. Okay. So the page test is another way to do the A/B testing for the page. And if I click on the page text itself, it will check the, so it will give you, of course, the original version of the page, and it will ask you if you want to test against, you can use an existing page, you can use another version of the page. And as we also had a webinar last week about versioning in Sitecore, so every page we can have many versions of it. And sometime we will have a second version that have a little bit different. We have a little bit different in terms of the layout. So let me just do it. So let's say I am now in the version number 4 of the page, and now I want to create another version, which is version 5. And this version will have different layout because I got a feedback from my VP saying we want to have this section on the top because we are running a campaign for these content. And this is the version 5. Let me just click save. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a page test. Okay, so we have the original version, which is version 5. And then I want to compare it with maybe version 4, where I have a different layout of the page. And maybe we can also create a page version right here. We don't need to go back to the, we don't need to close the window and create it from Experience Editor. We can actually create them right from here. And we can also choose, of course, the existing page. And it will be give you the same configuration as you saw with the component A/B testing. So if we show you the test preview section, also asks you for expectation, also asks you for the percentage of visitor that will be exposed to the test, and confidence level, and also the test objective. Very, very similar. And you can just start a test right here. Okay. And before I close this web, like that demonstration, I want to mention one very important thing is, even if we start the testing, we do need to publish the page. If you don't publish it, then no one will actually see your A/B testing. You have to start the testing and then publish the page that you, or the page that containing your the components that being tested. Okay, let me see. Okay, publish. Maybe so. Yeah, also better. Okay. So in conclusion, to have A/B testing, we do need to actually create a variation of a component or the page. And then we will need to configure the testing by go through all the confidence level, all the exposure, and the expectation, and the test objectives. And then we start a test, and then we need to publish the page to the live site, so so that the user can actually you know the user can be exposed to the test on on the live production database. And that would conclude my webinar today. So I would start letting everyone have the questions.
Thank you, Edgar.